Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the vast expanse of human experience, uncovering the hidden treasures of our collective past. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of a fascinating tale, one that whispers secrets of a bygone era, an era that gave birth to the majestic civilization of the Byzantines. As we delve into the origins of this storied empire, let us first set the stage with a brief overview of the Byzantines' remarkable history. The Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, would eventually become a beacon of learning, art, and culture, spanning over 1,000 years. But to understand the intricacies of this complex civilization, we must first examine its humble beginnings. The precursors to the Byzantine Empire's rise are found in the ancient city of Byzantium, situated on the Bosphorus Strait, which connects the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. As we venture back in time, we find ourselves in the 7th century BC, when the city of Byzantium was first founded by Greek colonizers from Megara. The city's strategic location made it an attractive hub for trade and commerce, with merchants and travelers passing through its bustling ports. Over the centuries, Byzantium would be influenced by various cultures, including the Persians, who conquered the city in 512 BC, and later the Romans, who annexed it in 73 AD. One of the pivotal figures in Byzantine history is Constantine the Great, who rose to power as Emperor of Rome in 306 AD. Born in Issus, modern-day Nis, Serbia, around 272 AD, Constantine would play a crucial role in shaping the fate of Byzantium. His conversion to Christianity in 312 AD marked a significant turning point, not only for the empire but also for the city of Byzantium. As we explore the historical context of Byzantium's emergence, it becomes clear that the city's unique position at the crossroads of East and West made it an ideal location for Constantine's new capital. The city's harbor, which would later become known as the Golden Horn, provided a safe haven for ships traveling between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. The surrounding hills and fertile plains made it an attractive place for settlement and agriculture. In 324 AD, Constantine began construction on his new capital, which he named Nova Roma, or New Rome. However, the city would eventually come to be known as Constantinople, in honor of its founder. Over the next several decades, Constantinople would undergo a transformation, with the construction of grand buildings, roads, and infrastructure. The city's population swelled, attracting scholars, artists, and merchants from across the ancient world. As we delve deeper into the origins of Byzantium, we find that the city's early history was marked by a complex interplay of cultures, empires, and ideas. From the ancient Greeks to the Romans, each civilization left its mark on the city's development. The seeds sown during this period would eventually give rise to a unique and vibrant culture that would come to define the Byzantine Empire. We see, for example, the influence of Greek architecture in the construction of the city's early buildings, such as the Temple of Apollo, which was built in the 3rd century BC. We also notice the impact of Roman engineering on the development of the city's infrastructure, including the construction of aqueducts and roads. As we examine the lives of key figures involved in Byzantium's emergence, we find that Constantine's vision for a new capital was not only driven by strategic considerations, but also by his desire to create a center of Christian learning and culture. His commitment to Christianity would have far-reaching consequences for the empire and the city of Byzantium. The precursors to the Byzantine Empire's rise have been set in motion. The stage is set, and the characters are in place. Join me as we step into the heart of this captivating story, where the intrigue of politics. Welcome back to our journey through the captivating history of the Byzantines. The period we are about to explore is often referred to as the Golden Age of Byzantium, which roughly corresponds to the 9th to the 11th centuries. During this time, the Byzantine Empire experienced a remarkable resurgence in art, literature, science, and politics. The capital city of Constantinople became a beacon of learning, attracting scholars and intellectuals from all over the ancient world. One of the pivotal figures of this era was Emperor Basil, also known as the Macedonian, who ruled from 867 to 886 AD. Born in the theme of Macedonia, Basil rose to power through his military prowess and strategic alliances. He is often credited with laying the foundations for the Byzantine Empire's resurgence through his conquests of the Arabs, the Bulgars, and other neighboring territories. Under Basil's rule, Constantinople underwent a significant transformation, with the construction of grand buildings, such as the Aeae Ecclesia, or the New Church, which was dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The city's infrastructure was also improved, with the repair of roads, bridges, and aqueducts. Moreover, Basil encouraged the development of trade and commerce, establishing new trade routes and strengthening existing ones. The Byzantines' love for art and architecture is evident in the stunning mosaics that adorn the walls of their churches and palaces. The most famous example of Byzantine art from this period is perhaps the mosaic decoration of the Hagia Sophia, which was completed during the reign of Emperor Justinian I in 537 AD. However, it was during the 9th and 10th centuries that the Byzantines perfected the art of mosaic making, creating breathtaking works of art that continued to inspire wonder and awe. Another notable figure of this era was Emperor Constantine VII Herodotus, who ruled from 913 to 959 AD. Constantine was a scholar emperor, known for his love of learning and his patronage of the arts. He commissioned numerous literary works, including the famous book De Administrando Imperio, which provides valuable insights into the Byzantine Empire's administration, diplomacy, and military strategy. The Byzantines' intellectual curiosity and love for knowledge are also evident in their scientific achievements. During this period, they made significant contributions to fields such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The famous mathematician and astronomer, John Philoponus, lived during the 6th century AD, but his works continued to influence Byzantine scholars throughout the Middle Ages. As we delve deeper into the Golden Age of Byzantium, we find that this period was marked by a complex interplay of politics, diplomacy, and culture. The Byzantines were masters of diplomacy, maintaining delicate balances of power with their neighbors, including the Arabs, the Bulgars, and the Russians. They were also skilled in the art of espionage, using spies and diplomats to gather intelligence and influence the decisions of foreign leaders. The Byzantine Empire's relationships with its neighbors were often complex and multifaceted. For example, the Byzantines had a long-standing rivalry with the Arabs, who had conquered much of the eastern Mediterranean during the 7th and 8th centuries AD. However, they also maintained trade and cultural exchanges with the Arabs, which helped to spread Byzantine art, architecture, and ideas throughout the Islamic world. The period we have explored has been marked by the emergence of remarkable figures, such as Basil I and Constantine VII Porphyrogenetos, who helped shape the course of Byzantine history. Join me as we step into the next chapter of this captivating story, where the intrigue of politics, the beauty of art, and the depth of human spirit converge. Welcome to the next chapter of our journey through Byzantine history. The 11th century saw the rise of the Comnenos dynasty, which would rule the Byzantine Empire for over a century. One of the most notable emperors of this dynasty was Alexios I Comnenos, who ruled from 1081 to 118 AD. Alexios faced numerous challenges, including the Norman conquest of southern Italy and the ongoing threat of the Seljuk Turks in Anatolia. Despite these challenges, he implemented significant reforms, including the creation of a new military system and the reorganization of the imperial administration. One of the most significant events of this period was the First Crusade, which began in 95 AD. The Byzantines had requested help from the Western Christians to combat the Seljuk Turks, but they were unprepared for the large-scale invasion that followed. The Crusaders, led by figures such as Bohemond of Taranto and Godfrey of Bouillon, marched through Byzantine territory, often clashing with imperial forces along the way. The eventual capture of Jerusalem in 1099 AD marked a significant turning point in the history of the Middle East, but it also created new challenges for the Byzantines. As the 12th century progressed, the Byzantine Empire faced increasing pressure from its neighbors. The Normans continued to pose a threat in southern Italy, while the Seljuk Turks made significant gains in Anatolia. The empire also faced challenges from the Bulgarian Empire, which had been re-established in the late 11th century. Despite these external threats, the Byzantines continued to produce remarkable cultural and artistic achievements, including the stunning mosaics of the Monastery of the Holy Savior in Constantinople. The reign of Emperor Manuel I Comnenos, who ruled from 1143 to 1180 AD, marked a significant turning point in Byzantine history. Manuel was a skilled diplomat and military leader who expanded Byzantine territories through a series of campaigns against the Normans and the Hungarians. However, his death in 180 AD marked the beginning of a period of decline for the empire. The following decades saw a series of civil wars, external invasions, and economic troubles, which ultimately weakened the empire's ability to respond to the challenges it faced. The period we've explored has been marked by the emergence of remarkable figures, such as Alexios I Komnenos and Manuel I Komnenos, who helped shape the course of Byzantine history. Join me as we step into the next chapter of this captivating story, where the intrigue of politics, the beauty of art, and the depth of human spirit converge. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.